Hello everybody, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars 75327 Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. Building this took me just under 2 hours at about 1 hour and 50 minutes, and this build has 675 pieces at a price point of $70 US. Also in the set there are no minifigures, it is just the build. First thing I want to talk about is the overall appearance. I really like how this looks. It is probably one of the more fun looking LEGO Star Wars builds, as most of them are all usually just a version of gray and black, like the ATT all gray, ATST all gray, Emperor's Throne Room all gray, ATTE almost all gray except for the red front. And pretty much just every vehicle in LEGO Star Wars is gray. So having something with white, red, and yellow, all of these bright and vibrant colors, is very nice and very refreshing and appealing. The first thing I want to talk about up close is the visor. The visor is mostly this clear orange with the gray parts on the top to connect to the helmet. I really like how this looks. I thought when I was opening the box and stuff that slit in that large piece right there was actually two separate pieces. I really like how it looks. It looks very good. I'm impressed with how they designed this as well. It was a very nice building technique. The one problem I do have with it though is since it's so thin, it is very fragile and breakable. A slight touch can just pull these off. I haven't tested the 1x1 bricks yet because I'm scared I'm not going to be able to put them back on very well. But other than how they're kind of fragile, I really like how they look. They fit in perfectly with this set, and I don't think that they could have done this any other way. One issue I do have with the visor area is that, as you can see here, the helmet doesn't go all the way to the forehead. As you can see on the box, although it does have a slight upward angle, it is not this exaggerated. I have no idea how they would change this. It's impressive how they already designed the curve on this and the brow on the helmet in the first place. So honestly, if I wasn't able to think of anything, I can't complain about it. But some people do think it is a little bit too high of an angle on the helmet, and I do think if it is something that has to be perfectly accurate, it is a little high up on the brow. Going down a little lower on the helmet, we have the earmuffs, the microphone, and the chin strap. I really like how the inside of this helmet looks. The dark background gives it a nice feeling of just highlighting the forefront elements, being the visor, the microphone, the earmuffs, and the chin strap. I really like how they did the ear cuffs. They look really good. They actually have a slight indent in them to show depth. And then we have the microphone here, which has horizontal movement just being on a clip right here. And then we have the chin strap, which has vertical movement and slight horizontal movement, just being able to wiggle back and forth like that. I'm really impressed with all three of these designs. I think they look really good and they fit really well with the build. Going back to the box again, we have the close-up of Luke Skywalker wearing the helmet. I think they did pretty well on the design of them being accurate to the movie. The one thing that could be different though is, as you can see, the microphone on the actual helmet comes a little lower than it does on the LEGO helmet. Other than that, the design looks perfect. They got how it looks exactly right, with having the little black end and the gray bit, and then the strap running through the chin strap. I think it all looks really good, and I'm really impressed with it. Next up, we will test the build's sturdiness. From a top-down point, it is very sturdy. Nothing will break off. I'm a little worried about the sides, being the microphone clip and the chin strap might fall off. Front on, you might have the visors get knocked out, and if you try to pick at the tubes, which I wouldn't recommend, they might break out of the clips on the back, which I am terrified of happening on my build. But the actual white part of the helmet is very structurally sound. They did a really good job trying to build that. Same with the stand. It looks very cool and is very stable. I'm very impressed with how they did all that, especially with how they used the rail pieces and the Technic bricks, or Technic tube, so whatever you want to call them. After sturdiness, as I mentioned before, we will be looking at the tubes on the helmet. I don't know if any of you guys saw my speed build of the helmet, but oh man, these things were a pain to get on. I had to bend and warp them quite a bit to get them to hold a shape slightly enough to actually be able to fit into that curve. So they look a little different on each side because I didn't bend them the exact same way. These things want to go back into their place really badly. So when I was trying to first do it, the front right here popped off a bunch of times and it would not actually stick to the Lego connecting pieces. I do think that they look really nice on it. It does, at least from the front, give a nice view and that nice yellow stripe on the helmet. I think it ties in very nicely with all of the other yellow on it being these stickers and under the ear parts right here. But if I had it my way, I would print yellow on the sides of all these bricks. It would be very tedious and you'd have to specially make them for each one, but at that point I wouldn't really care. This was such a pain to do, and it's also not exactly perfectly aligned either. So I feel like printing it, making it perfectly exact, or even just putting Lego pieces on the top right here, going all the way down, just lining one on each side, because the tubes already go over it. So although I understand that for accuracy's sake, it should be in the middle of the red line, I think you could have just made an exception to make it all one yellow line, or just put red bricks in one line and then yellow bricks in one line. As you can see here, here's the yellow line on the helmet being surrounded by the two red lines. You can't see it from here, but it is right there. It is a very thin yellow line. After the tubes, the next will be the stickers. There are 9 stickers on this build, unfortunately. 3 being one here, and one here. Same on the other side, with it being here, here, and here for numbers 4, 5, and 6. The other 3 are at the top of the helmet, being this one right here and the 2 on each sides. Personally, in this one, I think the stickers actually look fine, but I will still hate stickers because they are so annoying to put on. For the circle stickers, I messed up on every one of them. As you can see, I slightly misplaced that. And for one of the red dot stickers on the side, I overplaced on the end, as you can see. And for these ones, I actually did fine on the top ones. I don't understand why they make stickers such a hit or miss on your own ability to actually put the stickers in properly. I think they could just print the pieces and make it exactly right every single time without there having to be any guesswork or having to spend a bunch of time to try to get the stickers perfectly right. It's just really annoying, and I feel like they could do without stickers entirely because they're just annoying. And if anybody gives the excuse of them not being able to print it because they are too complicated, minifigures exist and those things are very complicated, so there's no excuse for them to not be able to print basic lines on a plate. It makes no sense to me, especially when they're able to do something like this. That just doesn't make any sense to me, or also something like this shell right here. Now also in the set there are 6 unique bricks, one being the disc plate on each side with the stripes and the red dot on each side here and here, another being the 2 Rebel logo pieces on each side of the helmet, another one being this square plate right here, a lot of them being the printed red angled curved bricks that run along the spine of the build, and the last one being the Luke Skywalker Red 5 Lego Star Wars plate. Now, even after saying all that about the stickers and the helmet, this being an 18 plus set and a display set is very, very good. I really like the display ability of this set with how the stand is all black and the vibrant colors of the helmet. I think it really stands out and would be a great display set among all of the gray Lego Star Wars builds. It would really stand out in your collection and be a nice piece to pop and shine in your collection and stand out from the rest. At the time of making this video, it is discontinued, but I'm sure you can still get it on Bricklink, eBay, or Facebook, or whatever secondhand market you want to for a relatively decent price. Right now, the cheapest price of a sealed in-box new helmet is $54. So at $54 to $70, I think this is a really good set. It's a perfect display piece, doesn't take up a lot of space, and looks really nice. And at the price of the $70 retail, I think it's decent. I didn't pay that. I got this thing for $50 when it was on sale at Target. But if it's at $70, I wouldn't be too mad about buying it at that price. But I wouldn't be the happiest man in the world either, because it is definitely not a steal at $70. It is adequately priced or slightly above what you should be paying for it. Even after saying all that though, I still think this is a really good set, and I would rate it at about 7.5 out of 10. That's it for the review part, and the next set we will be building and reviewing is the 75347 TIE Bomber. This will probably be out on Tuesday or Thursday. I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.